to you all, and welcome to another episode of Wear Many Hats. My name's Rachel, and this is the podcast that is totally dedicated to the FM and the property world. Today, we've got a fantastic guest with us. We have Toby Chapman. He is from Arcadis as a global workplace strategy director, and he's also the UK's and Ireland's charity board chairman for Arcadis. So welcome. That was a mouthful.
Thank you for having me. It's a bit of a mouthful, yeah. You got there in the end.
As long as you know what you're doing in those roles, that's the main thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it today.
Yeah. Definitely. Did you come from far today?
I came from a lovely lunch, actually, with Arcadis. We were a client lunch, so hopefully my brain's still working after a stomach full of nice food, yeah.
Not too sleepy then?
No, I'll do my best.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here, Toby, but we're going to crack on because I know you're sleepy, so... Let's rewind a bit. Where did it all start for you? Go way back as far as you want.
Yeah, so obviously I've listened to quite a few of these podcasts and, heard what other people say. I think, one thing that you and I have just been talking about is kind of coming out of university. I'd done a degree in management and philosophy at Leeds University. Wow. I don't know where that takes you. It's kind of like quite an open-ended degree. And I had recently moved to London. I'd worked back at home with my parents for a while, and then I'd made the move to come to London. And I was working for Mont Blanc. So I was working for Mont Blanc. It's, quite an interesting role, doing kind of corporate sales.
I saw.
And marketing. Everyone thinks, working for kind of an aspirational luxury brand like that is, fantastic.
Yeah.
It'd be a good... To be honest, it was really good. We did some good events. We kind of sponsored the Southampton Boat Show and different things like that. But at the end of the day, it was still sales. And I kind of felt like there was maybe a bit more that I could give. I've always been quite interested in learning. So I took the decision after speaking to some friends. I had a few friends who were working as surveyors. Yeah. And I said, what's a surveyor? I hadn't really heard about what surveying was. I think being from Leicestershire or Nottingham, it didn't really come up so much. And it sounded interesting. It sounded like, it was a career, rather than just a job. So I went back to university and I did an MA in European real estate.
Wow.
So I paid for that myself. It wasn't necessarily too cheap. And obviously going back to university is always a bit of a challenge, and I've done it a few times. So
well done.
And I've always been able to leverage, off the back of kind of taking that decision to do more learning. So I'm always a big advocate for getting back in and
done.
Expanding the grey cells.
Yes.
So I did that, and after a few months, the milk round came up, and I was lucky or blessed to get a role with Lambert Smith Hampton.
Yes, I saw that.
Who are one of the regional players in the UK market, and went on their graduate training course, which was a whole range of different teams that you work through. You do 6 months in each team.
Okay, that's so good.
Yeah. So it gives you a nice grounding in various different areas of the business. You do a bit in kind of corporate services, you do a bit in valuation, you do lease advisory, so all kind of critical things that you can use, in your career as you move forward.
Yes.
I'll never forget the first day that I went to Lambert Smith Hampton. I got taken, I think it was first or second day, I went to London Wall to the Tellereel Trillium office, and it was up on like the 20th or 25th floor or something like that. And I've been working in a porter cabinet in Leicester
so blew your mind,
a couple of years before. And I just remember being in this meeting and, it was all like lots of property lingo. And I was just thinking, I do not understand any of this.
So funny.
So, and obviously a few years down the line, I started to understand it. But
of course.
It's a bit of a baptism of fire. And I think, going through that learning process and doing the APC, the Chartered Surveyor exams, it's great because I came from quite a, philosophy and management. It's quite an academic subject, but to go to quite a practical, kind of pragmatic subject like real estate, I really enjoyed it. And that was kind of where it all started.
And that was where you sort of started in your career within property.
Yeah.
You were there a long time.
I was there a long time, yeah. I was committed. I was committed to the course. I did a lot of jobs, actually. So I worked in kind of a transport consultancy team.
All right.
I had a really good boss there, Jason Pinkett, who was, it was really strange, actually. I shared him a joke that I got from my mum's husband. I'm kind of digressing here, but
that's fine.
And he was like, "Oh, that's a strange name." It was a joke from Jason's dad, actually.
Yeah.
I shared it with my mum's husband, and he said, "Pinkett, that's a funny name. It's not so and so." And it turned out that my mum's husband and his dad were like best mates at school. So
what a small world it is,
crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So I worked with Jason for a long time. We were basically trying to like maximise income in railway stations.
Okay.
And there was a lot going on in transport hubs at the time. And a lot of the transport hubs are really becoming places where you would do shopping. People saw the value in the footfall.
Mm-hmm. London
Bridge.
Bridge.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's gone to even new levels now. Yeah. But I think it was an interesting role. So I did that for a while, and then after a bit of time, I said, I'd like to go and try something else. Mm-hmm. Challenge myself again.
Yeah.
And I went to speak to the head of the London office, and then they moved me to work in the Central London agency team.
Yeah.
And, I've listened to Ralph Dorey, obviously, on this podcast before. He's kind of given a bit of an update on what that market looks like. But, it's a really, great market. Everyone knows everyone. It's a really small world, and you're getting out, you're getting to know the market, all the buildings, the occupiers, the landlords.
Yes,
it's very sociable. It is. Again, that was quite a change from what I was doing before. So I really enjoyed that, and I did that for quite a number of years for Lambert Smith Hampton, and then I went for a role at JLL in their kind of central London team, and obviously got it, and took a step up to what is a much bigger player.
Yes,
with JLL, massive business. What is it, like 70 or 80,000 people?
Yeah.
And probably like quite an uptick in kind of the quality of clients that you're working with.
Yes.
I was quite fortunate that I've always worked for landlords and tenants.
Yeah.
Obviously in the market, normally people do one or the other.
Yes.
But in the teams that I worked in, it was called London Unlimited, the team within the Central London team.
Yeah.
And it was quite like a footloose team. Yeah. Unlimited. We weren't truly unlimited. we had our spot. No, it was great. There was a little bit kind of, it was a bit of a freer reign, I suppose, than some of the teams within JLL. And we were able to work with, some great clients. I worked with like Samsung, Toyota Connected, some good landlords as well. So, JLL was great offices, great people there again. It's a really professional business. So I did that for, again, probably 2 or 3 years, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, during COVID, JLL were in a period of kind of consolidation and probably letting go of quite a number of people. We were hitting that recession. It was interesting. The first kind of few months of when I started at Lambert Smith Hampton, was a Lehman fiasco, and all the banks falling.
Yes.
But obviously, as a grad, some of the grads actually got told that they wouldn't get a role, but I was fortunate to continue in that. But then that second COVID recession, unfortunately, I got cut. So JLL were really, really good to me at the time, and they let me keep some of my clients. So I was able to actually to bill some of those clients, to keep my head above water for a while.
The self-employed part that you did.
So I did like about a year, I think it was, or maybe 9 months of that. And at the same time, when I was at JLL, I was doing an MBA. Wow. So I was doing another degree from Henley Business School, which is like a part-time MBA, and fantastic learning journey again. I can't recommend doing an MBA at a kind of a good university enough if you get the right cohort and it's the right MBA fit for you. Luckily for me, I did a thesis that was around leading workplace change.
Right.
So it was all about change leadership, leaders' behaviours, change management, change leadership. And I think change management, change leadership was really coming to the fore in real estate because it hadn't necessarily been on the radar so much. And there was more kind of consultancy around this when you were doing office agency. So that I was then able to leverage my thesis and all the learning that I'd done from the MBA to then get a role at Arcadis, going in as a global change manager to a newly centralised team led by Martin Sylvester.
Yeah.
And I think I was the first global employee into that team, and it was all kind of being shaped around us.
That's pretty spectacular stuff.
Yeah.
And to go into something that you were studying. You don't hear that too much, do you?
Yeah.
It's very specific to your degrees and what you're studying.
Yeah.
You tend to hear that it's, going to something completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good that you actually could utilise the two. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
For our listeners that still do want to go to uni and still do want to push on that side of things.
Yeah, there's always two schools of thought, aren't there, about, doing the extra study. Is it worthwhile? Some people will say, it's not worthwhile doing an MBA. You can, learn it as you work or on the job. But I think for me, it's just the cohort that you meet, the sharing of knowledge. Certainly it's quite an incestuous business, isn't it?
Yes.
Real estate. So you're generally mixing with people in the real estate sphere. Yeah. Once you start talking to people in tech, really creative entrepreneurial people who are doing that kind of thing, it just opens the doors. So
exactly.
Makes you think in a slightly different way, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, obviously, did you know you were going to go down this sort of path? I think you've kind of spoke about it in your journey there.
No, I think I've always been up for a challenge. Yeah. I was always massively keen on sport, so I would have loved to kind of been a PE teacher or something like that.
Wow,
but,
totally.
Obviously, finances come into consideration as well. So I did management and philosophy was really interesting in that first degree. But then obviously doing real estate, I think. It's a people business first, isn't it? It's all about the people. So, I've got very personable family and parents and, I've always been a people person. I worked in sales.
Yes, which is tough.
So, yeah. So I didn't really know what path I was going on, but you find your way as you go, I think the learning pulls you in different directions and you see where your skills are and you see what value you can add.
Yeah, definitely.
It's about trying to find that value, isn't it? I think, for everybody.
I feel that's a very a great answer to that, really. You sort of weave your way through, don't you?
Yeah.
Sort of end up where you end up. But it doesn't mean you have to stay where you are. Yeah. Some people say, I go like, it's so great that you worked for somewhere for so long. And they're like, is that a great thing though? Because sometimes you just stay where you are and just stay put and stay standing, really. Should we be more evolving? So there's two sides to it again, isn't there?
I think one thing, when I went to my APC graduation, there was the head of the RICS there.
Okay.
I forget the guy at the time, but one thing that really resonated with me was he said, you must always go towards your fear.
Yes.
And for me, it's like that carpe diem, going towards your fear.
Yeah.
If you don't challenge yourself, you have to be put into uncomfortable situations to learn and to grow. So, some people never go through difficulties. They never, no real challenge. And I think unless you kind of actively seek it out, you're just plateauing. I see a lot of people in businesses, they've just been doing the same role for 20, 30 years. I mean, that's great for some people if you want to do that. But for me, I was always
wanting more
and to keep evolving.
Yes. Yeah. Love that. I agree with you. So you mentioned a couple of names, but who or what gave you that real first push in your career?
Yeah. So I suppose, I mentioned David Earl, who was one of my bosses. He's head of Central London for Lambert Smith Hampton now. He's a great operator. If he listens to this, big up, David.
Tag him.
But I think, Martin Sylvester, who again may well listen to this, but he was a great mentor for me and a great kind of leader. He took me on in Arcadis, and obviously, I'd done a thesis in change management, but I hadn't necessarily done the do. And I think he saw somebody who maybe could do a bit of everything.
Yeah.
when he took me on. So I always kind of give him some credit for seeing my potential.
Yeah.
And also, he's an inspirational guy. He kind of looks at, personality styles. He's quite a consultant. He's done an MBA himself. So we're kind of on the same page. So I think, and he's a big sportsman. He's quite a big endurance athlete as well. Wow. So
does he go on your treks? I know you do.
He's done crazy cycling challenges and all sorts of stuff. So
hats off.
But I think, he was probably the boss that gave me the real push, and kind of obviously I moved in quite a different direction when I came to Arcadis. So it was good to have that opportunity.
Yeah,
and trust.
Yeah, and you mentioned your parents as well, which sounds like they did they push you to?
Like my mum's a shopkeeper, and she's an entrepreneur, so she's always been very kind of business savvy. And my dad's an engineer.
Okay,
I work for a big engineering practice now, so they're quite different personalities, but you take a bit of everything from both your parents, don't you?
You do indeed. So, yes.
Hopefully got the blend of the different characteristics.
Yeah, I got the gift of the gab from my dad, that's for sure. Without a doubt. And then probably the more empathetic side from my mum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely empathy from the mum.
Yeah, I think so. What does a day look like in your world these days?
Yeah, again, I've listened to a lot of the podcasts, and I think there's definitely similarities with some of your other attendees. But I do a lot of team calls. In a global role, you're covering the globe.
Yes, of course. So are you up hours late and early, or?
I'm an absolute early bird, so I generally get up and kind of crack on. Right. And so I do 7 a.m. calls. Sometimes they're 6:30 calls.
Yeah.
6 a.m. calls. So we did projects in Brisbane, in Melbourne, in Sydney. So on some of those projects, I was doing presentations, to, I don't know, a few hundred, not 1,000 people, but maybe 500 people at 6 o'clock in the morning. So kind of wiping the sleep out your eyes.
You are a morning person.
Exactly. So you do a lot of presentations, a lot of team calls. Have to do kind of change plans and strategy documents and business cases. So there's a lot of things that you have to kind of pull together and outputs, but a lot of the day is kind of covered with team calls.
Yeah.
So you have to find magic times to obviously put a lot of these documents together.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've got a great team around us. So, it's quite collaborative. We've got a team that's across the globe. So some people sit, one of our design managers is in Perth. So literally you kind of give him some tasks to do. You go away, go sleep, you come back on, and he's very productive actually. Guy called Carl Saxby. He's, so he gets it done, and then you come back in and have a chat about it in the morning as soon as you log on. So I think getting your workflows is really important, and also just understanding when your flow time is. For me, it's definitely in the morning, so I'm banging through, as much as I can in the morning. And in the afternoons, I start to lag a little bit. But it is almost 5 o'clock now, so hopefully I'm doing all right today.
Yeah, you've done really well. You seem quite lively and sprightly, actually, especially if you've had a large lunch. That's lovely. So, gosh, and do you travel to these places as well, or are you mostly?
A fair bit of travelling. I mean, we've got a bit of embargo on unnecessary travel in Arcadis at the moment. We've got a commitment to be carbon neutral.
Correct.
By 2035. Yeah. So we try and take the train whenever we can. I went to Cornet in Amsterdam not too long ago. That was on the train. I'm back and forth to do kind of presentations in Amsterdam. Wow. Always on the Eurostar. Yeah. So if you miss a train or you miss a connection, it can be a bit painful. But no, I've been to the US 2 or 3 times. Romania.
Wow. I've never been.
France, Belgium. But not too far. I haven't been to Australia, although I've done projects in Australia and in the Philippines, should I say?
But not traveling there.
But not traveling there.
Yeah.
No.
I've been to Singapore, it's a fantastic country, and I've been to Australia a couple of times. Not with work, with family.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends lives in Perth.
It's lovely.
Good.
I went there. One of the hottest places I've ever been. Wasn't it hairdryer moment? Sitting in the back of the car. It was heat,
just so lovely there. I love the way that way of
clean.
life. Clean. That's it. We're too busy. We're too small. And
Singapore, there's no chewing gum.
no chewing gum.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, like you can't, it's banned, isn't it? So, and absolutely right. So let's talk challenges. I mean, you kind of sort of said some there, but what's sort of testing you right now in your role?
So I think we've done some great work in Arcadis in the last 4 years. We've been on a really significant transformation journey. So, when I worked at JLL, I worked with a lot of kind of big corporates and saw the kind of quality of their offices. And, WeWork obviously were really shaping kind of the expectations of what you can expect from an office. Correct. And you kind of walk in, you got barista coffee, beer, you got beer. I mean, God, beer taps. That's the next level.
Looking into a WeWork and saw the beer tap, I was like, this is insane. But this is when co-working really kind of kicked off, didn't it?
Exactly. And I'm fortunate I've got a friend who works at Google, and I went to, to see the Google offices in various different locations, and they're just mind-blowing, the level of amenity, the various different restaurants, sushi bars, gym, library, so I think, always managing expectations is really challenging when you're in a senior role and you've got a lot of stakeholders, up and down the chain. Our client in my role is really kind of, we've got a range of different clients. You could say it's like the global executive. Yeah. And they've got, different prerogatives. You've got, in-country leadership. You've got different business area leaders. Everyone has different drivers, different demands, and you've got to kind of be that kind of guardian in of the brief in the middle, managing. As well. So you're kind of managing what you deliver. If that hits the right numbers, does it meet the needs of the people? Yeah. Are their needs changing? Are their needs realistic? So what we do at Arcadis is we generally try and survey our staff to see what their expectations are. We also have kind of a lot of data through sensors and through ongoing review of the portfolio. So we're always trying to make data-backed decisions, but no matter how data-backed decision, the head and the heart, you've got to appeal to both. So I think that's the difficulty. And we cut a lot of office space after COVID because we were very heavy. A lot of our space wasn't massively utilised, and I think, like many businesses, we're seeing a bit of a return to office. We're not a business that mandates people to come to the office. Okay, so but there is expectations that we do use our office space. We're spending a lot of money on it, so we want it to be best used, and there's a lot of energy and passion that goes into it. Yeah. So really, it's about managing attendance, getting the most out of your asset, but also making sure that it's really experiential and that you're getting the most out of the amenities. So definitely. More landlords are like building these buildings, and I think when I was in agency, there was always the question was, do I want to get rid of that amount of space to not have it as a rentable asset? Yeah. To not be able to realise rent from it. And I think now the answer is coming back more and more clear that actually it's always worth your investment in common areas, in all those extra facilities. Because that, I can tell you, I was in the Manchester office market recently looking at, potential offices. And, the word amenity came up time and time again with the agents. I mean, it must have been the most, the buzzword. It must have been 100 times that I heard amenity. But, they're putting in like spin studios. The gyms aren't just like an afterthought. They're proper gyms that you can actually utilise. Podcast studios, proper business lounges with great coffee and, and also just the kind of hotel style concierge and all those kind of things. It's just, I think,
special touch, and it helps us to want to come back into the office as well. I think a lot of that goes to saunas, prayer rooms.
I haven't seen saunas.
Parents, like rooms for parents. So
the list goes on.
Yeah. And it will keep evolving as we evolve, I think it's great.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. But I think managing expectations is difficult because, you've got to pay for that amenity. And it just depends if the finances stack up, if the business case stacks up for you to take that office, which might be, in the top quartile of cost.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
it's always a careful balance.
Balance.
And sometimes, you think you know what people want, you think you understand expectations, but actually you don't.
Everyone's different.
Sometimes we work in the US, a lot of our offices are field offices where people are coming in with muddy boots.
Yeah.
And they don't really care. They just want a desk to sit down and get their muddy boots off and, a shower.
Right.
Yeah. So, when you're dealing with kind of people in the field, we're dealing with architects, we're one of the biggest architects practices in the world now.
Yeah.
You have to curate the space right, but it's a difficult balance, so it's managing expectations, I think, is a huge challenge.
Brilliant. We touched on a few things there to do with sort of tech, really, and AI, and where do you think the industry is heading? I mean, what sort of excites you?
Yeah, I think obviously kind of ESG and AI, they're big buzzwords, and we've made a really big commitment around sustainability. And although the Trump administration has set kind of new tones globally about sustainability and net zero, taking a lot of emphasis. It was interesting to see that Trump didn't even go to COP this time. I think it's embarrassing. It's scary, the fact that we're not getting that engagement in sustainability. But, as a business, we've always said that we'll be committed to it, no matter what the political agenda is.
Yeah.
So, I've been part of a net zero working group where, we're looking at obviously having our electrification of our fleet. That is, coming up very quickly.
Good.
Obviously, our travel policy, we're really kind of really mindful about how we travel.
Yep. Do we need to go?
Do we need to travel? We've got
to do that, did we? I don't.
Yeah, we didn't at all.
Just went.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need to now.
Yeah, and I think now we've got like a meeting room app that really kind of just interrogates whether we need to do that travel. It's just giving you a bit more mindfulness around your travel.
Good.
We've also got carbon kind of factoring on our train and air bookings.
Yep.
So you can see some planes obviously won't use as much carbon, so we try and be quite mindful around what flights we take. Actually looking at what aircraft you're flying on.
God, that's really narrowing it down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like moving away from business class flights is kind of a typical thing, because it's like double the carbon for each flight. So that's always something. And I think from a property perspective, we always try to find, if we can find a fitted space that works, if we don't have to build something, if we can reuse and repurpose, then that's always our first port of call.
Brilliant.
So we've had, massive success in that. We've just taken a new office in Yash, where we inherited a fantastic fit out. I think it was from Amazon, a really carbon sustainable building. The fit out was great, and we could just move in. But so we do think about it a lot, and also just trying to be close to transport hubs, to be thinking about how people actually connect into your buildings. Is really important. We've always wanted to be close to train stations.
Yep.
We kind of actively discourage people from using cars. Obviously, in London, you can't really drive in, but
they made it very difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Some countries, like, they still love their cars. So, it's a careful balance. We don't want to, move completely away from using the car. Obviously, when it's going to be electric cars, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
But still, public transport kind of first in our policy.
I think we're all heading in the right direction, though. And but if you don't get on board with it, you're going to be really stuck and left behind. So I think a lot of companies already work that way, and it seems like you guys are. We were talking about AI before the show. What are your thoughts around that?
You like the standard trope of AI.
You can be as honest as you want, or brutal as you like.
No, it's interesting. I was having a discussion yesterday about smart building technology and kind of adaptive BIM systems, and
it's incredible.
Who is actually getting that? I think it's definitely very exciting about the possibilities and the potentials. If you've got a building system that adapts to the outdoor temperature, to sunlight, to noise levels, all those kind of things, it's incredible if you get it to work.
Yeah.
Our 80 Fen office, so basically we moved in there probably 5 years ago. That was like the blueprint for what we wanted to do to going forward. So exactly. So in that office, we've got smart sensor technology. We've got We've got booking, meeting room bookings. We've got desk booking. It's all based off sensors. You can actually designate to sit in a quiet area.
Yeah.
You can sit in a colder or warmer part of the office. So obviously temperature is always one of those things that, is quite contentious. One people are like, it's boiling in here. And the next person's like, it's freezing. So, so you can choose your temperature in our offices, but we did that, and it's just trying to do all those integrations. A guy that I work with called James Saunders is fantastic, in this area, and he's kind of lived and breathed smart building tech.
Brilliant.
And kind of So
you'll turn to him.
I'll turn to James, but I mean, AI certainly is a big friend of mine. Good. In terms of my workflows. Now I use it all the time, every day. Yeah. We were talking about it before, weren't we? It's incredible.
My mum uses ChatGPT. I'm like, Mum, ask it. Stop asking me.
Yeah. The time save is just insane. But hopefully, it's a supportive thing. Yeah. I think. People are talking about it not taking jobs. You can see it probably will do, but hopefully it can really support those
and generate
people and generate new ones. Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's a positive.
I repeat myself, but my son's in cybersecurity. I mean, that's crucial in that area, isn't it? We're going to need more of that to secure the data that we're putting in. So, lots of jobs that will be created. We mentioned ESG. So do you think, this is a question, it's as open-ended as you like, but do you think the industry is innovating fast enough? Do you think we're still playing catch up?
Do you know what? I hadn't really considered this question, so I'll have to ad-lib this a little bit.
Go for it.
It's very difficult to say. I think there's a lot of kind of antiquated industries in and around London. Yeah. You look at kind of, I hate to kind of point fingers, but maybe like the insurance industry, it's kind of, they're holding on to certain procedures, certain processes. And, I've got a friend, one of my best friends actually, who is in insurtech. And he's trying to, automate some of the claims data, but it's really hard to kind of get a hook into a lot of these businesses because there's no incentive for the senior leaders because they're
old school,
doing very well out of the current systems. Yeah, so why would you want to change things that is lining your pocket, know? So
exactly.
I think there is definitely innovation in FM. I think, I still struggle to see sometimes, having been a broker and working with brokers, certainly in the real estate, I know what good looks like. As some brokers we get great, value from, but sometimes it feels like it's a playbook that hasn't really evolved that much. So, I think it's moving in the right direction. Whether it's innovating as fast as other sectors, I'm not sure. What do you think?
I think you're exactly right. I think some people are stuck in their ways and don't necessarily want to change. But then there's companies like the company that you work for instance, is, you're one of the big players. So I think all those people are leading the way. Which will then hopefully follow through to the rest of them.
I think Arcadis is definitely an innovative business. I think a lot of it's around having the data and using the data in the right ways. We've all got heaps and heaps of data, and it's about kind of getting the insights, getting visualizations around those insights, and that takes time. And I suppose like AI and things like that can really speed up a lot of those things. But sometimes sometimes the old ways are the best ways, like actually getting into an office and seeing how it's being used and walking around and talking to people.
Just rely on the data.
You can't kind of,
take that
innovate. That's the standard traditional way of doing things. I think it works well.
Definitely. So looking back, what moment or project are you still proud of today?
Okay.
What comes to mind?
I mean, if I want to talk about like different moments in life, can we talk about general life moments, or is it whatever we want?
Your story.
So I think for me, and again, I know Ralph Dorey. I think I've already mentioned Ralph. Sorry, Ralph.
Sorry. Ralph's
but we took on the Marathon des Sables. 2014.
Yeah, well done.
Sorry, 2018. What am I talking about? 2018. Okay. It was an incredible adventure.
It sounded it.
And it was just absolutely brutal, basically. 6 marathons in 6 days in the Sahara.
What in the world?
There was a variety of us from various different businesses. And I think my kind of mindset was, hell, why not? Ralph took me to one side and said, do you fancy doing this run? There's a few of us doing it. We're going to try and raise some money for Macmillan Cancer. I was like, yeah.
I love that.
I think my mindset is always like,
give it a
hell yeah, why not? Let's give it a go.
Especially for charity, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's all right challenging yourself, but when it's for the goodness of a cause, I think
100%.
so much better. Oh God, I looked at that. It sounds and looks horrific. Sorry. Your feet, I just don't.
It's like a Hobbit at the end of it.
Did you?
Bilbo Baggins.
No, just give me how did it start and how did it end? Like that?
Yeah.
And bit in the middle as well.
They play like at the start of every leg, they play a Highway to Hell. And you've got like a few hundred crazy marathon runners, all pumping out the music and all kind of cheering and things, not really knowing what they're getting into. But you do know what you're getting into after a couple of days of it. Your feet are in ribbons. You're running through like thick sand. It's 40 degrees or hotter sometimes. And but it was really cathartic for me. I've got to say, like I think it was basically the day. I think you've done 4 marathons or thereabouts. Then I think it's a 5th day you do a double marathon. So you do like 50 miles through the desert. And we were starting at like I think 7 a.m. and people were coming in the next morning after 7 a.m. So they're like literally going for 24 hours. We ran into the night. Everyone was given like glow sticks to go through the desert, and you can just see this like ribbon trail of glow sticks through the desert. But I had like some really emotional moments in that because it's just a complete let go. You haven't got any social media.
Yeah, no.
And it's just
relying.
You're in your own mind. You're just thinking about all the great things in life, and it's very raw. It's kind of like the sun comes up in the desert and it's literally straight on the horizon, and it goes round and it sets on the horizon. You can see all of that because it's a wilderness. So real
alone separately.
You're in groups. You're in groups, but then like you can get kind of by yourself at times. And, it's it's great. It was just an incredible. It's an incredible. It was an incredible moment. I think we raised about £130,000 for Macmillan Cancer.
So good.
Yeah,
did a lot for my dad before he passed. So what
that's amazing.
Pause.
And I've lost a couple of people. I lost a PA to cancer who was supported by Macmillan. A number of people in my life who have been supported by Macmillan. I think is a great cause, and I think now I'm the UK charity chair for Arcadis. So
can you do that? We won't have time for all this, but touch. So
just
a big achievement.
I'll quickly touch upon it. So so I think just my experience of like doing the MDS, and we had to raise, we did different events. We did like a charity raffle. We hired out some a room in actually close to here in a building that was being marketed, and I've got experience of really getting into how to raise corporate funds for charities. And we've had a massive success at Arcadis working with Teenage Cancer Trust. Oh gosh! So we raised over £200,000 for Action for Children, and then we've just gone to Teenage Cancer Trust, and we've done a cycle to Amsterdam, and a cycle to Paris.
Did you do that?
I've done both of those. Yeah,
and the desert or the sun?
Definitely the desert. Yeah.
Okay,
but
your word for it.
But it's great, when you see those lived people with like the lived experiences of different cancers and different, obviously Action for Children is about abused children, and you see again that lived experience. Yeah, it really touches your heart, pulls on your heartstrings. So absolutely. I think I'm really proud of that. There's lots of projects that I'm proud of as well, but for me that's like really human. Yeah, giving back.
Absolutely, I love that. I'm so glad you brought those two up, and touched upon the charity side as well. Is that something that you came up with yourself, or is that something that was already in place and you kind of took over?
Do you know what? There's a guy called Alan Green who had the thought, and there's always loads and loads of cyclists. Yeah. in businesses, you know. And so yeah, we got a massive take up, and I think we had 61 or 62 cyclists cycling to Paris.
Okay,
you know, going on the Champs-Elysees, like coming up to the Eiffel Tower, and it amazing.
It's people though, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that's the thing. You get such good engagement and collaboration and team building, but also raising loads of money at the same time. And you get for a great cause. You know, like it's not to love.
Like Ralph, and you get to go to meet people and get to really know them and expand on your network.
Oh, yeah, when you're in the desert.
You know each other
very
well.
intimately.
Brilliant. So what's something you wish you knew when you were starting out?
What did I wish I knew?
You started.
You know, there's loads of different things. I mean, like everyone says, like fake it till you make it. I think you've always got to have confidence in your abilities. You've got to know that, you know, there's a lot of people who are finding their way. You know, you never know 100% of whatever role you're going for. You can read job descriptions and you can think, well, I can only do 50% of that. Yeah. But if you can do that 50% really, really well, and then you're, you know, adaptive and you're open to learning. Yeah. You know, you just got to give it a go. Yeah, that's always my thing. I think you've got to be resilient. You know, you'll get knockbacks along the way.
Yeah, and that's tough.
You know, when I was between school and university, I went to Australia, and I did banana picking. You know, I did grape picking, and I went and picked bananas, and there's like rats and snakes and spiders. It's in like big spiders. You're in like flooded banana fields and your feet are completely ruined again. I don't think there's a trend here, isn't there? Ruined feet. They're okay now, but
well done.
But you know, when I was doing that, it was a horrendous job. But I was like 19, 20 years old. I just needed to get some money, and I think you do these jobs and you build resilience, and it teaches you life lessons. So whatever you do, just take the learnings, try and be reflective, you know, and then kind of move on and take everything with you and keep learning. That's my message, I suppose.
Sitting here thinking, what an incredible guy! Wow, just amazing. So, if someone came to you tomorrow and said, "I want to do what you do," what would you say?
I would say I love my job. So, I think again, I deal with people first and foremost. We deal with, you know, real estate is really exciting. You know,
it is.
It's come a long way in the last 20 years. You know, if I think of the offices when I first started working, what they looked like, and you know what they are like now, it's completely revolutionary. You know, revolutionary.
Yeah.
You know, in Arcadis, we've got in our 80 Fen office and lots of other like global hubs. Yeah. You know, we've probably got 20 different work settings, you know, so you've got focus booths, you've got project spaces, you've got quiet rooms, you've got kind of library space, you've got well-being, reflective areas, you've got prayer rooms, in fantastic breakout spaces and all, you know. So I think it's always changing, it's always developing, there's always lessons to be learned. So I'd say, give it a go. Get involved. Start learning.
Yes.
Take the first step.
Yes.
And see where it takes you. But I think getting a good qualification, you know, doing the APC, you know, I don't know if being a chartered surveyor is as relevant as it was. Maybe, you know, 20 years ago. Obviously, like Cornet and other things are kind of coming to the fore as well. But I still think there's nothing like being able to apply learning into your job.
Yes.
And actually when it all clicks, you know, when all that learning, it starts to come together and you get a bit of a realization, a bit of a aha moment, don't you? And you're like, oh, that's what that learning was all about. And that's how I can apply it. I think that's really exciting. So
well done on that. That's terrific. So let's switch off from work a little bit. What do you do outside your day job? You mentioned sport. Are you still sporting? Well, you must be.
Yeah. So I still run. I run most days. I love running. Yeah.
Well done.
I mean, I try not to make it too competitive. I just get out there and just go for a trot and see where it takes me. Yeah. Just getting some fresh air, and it keeps you limber. You know, it's good for your well-being. 100%.
Your mind, mental health.
So I think all the boys from the MDS probably I see them on Strava, you know, getting their runs in, and yes, I do.
I love
that. Yeah. I also coach my son's football team, so it's under 8s for Glebe Panthers.
Oh, God, Glebe Panthers.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So that's my passion at the moment, like seeing these young lads, like,
so cute,
absolutely loving the football.
Yeah.
And just the effort they put in and the learning. It's amazing when you actually teach them. You think they're definitely not listening to anything that I say.
No.
The concentration levels are like non-existent.
Yeah, they're all
when it clicks and they do something that you've actually trained to do, you're just like, that is incredible. That's revelation.
Love that, because eventually they do listen.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, brilliant.
And there's no ego, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
You do back a lot, don't you?
Try.
Yeah. Is there any time for you at all? I know that's with your son, but
yeah. So me and my wife, we still like to go to gigs and have a bit of fun.
Brilliant.
And we've got some great we've got a great community. I live in Chislehurst in kind of southeast London.
Nice.
Oh, are you? Okay, yeah.
Actually, but everyone knows Bromley. Oh, Chislehurst.
Just down the road from you. I'll have to go for a beer.
Yeah.
I want to go for a bit.
So around there.
Yeah, and it's a good community, and everyone gets on, and it's quite nice. It's kind of, in some parts of the country, I think you don't know your neighbours. I think it's quite nice when you feel part of something.
Chislehurst High Street's still so sweet. So the little pond there, and
it's great. I play golf at the golf club. Yeah.
How do you find time to do all of the stuff that you do?
I don't know. Yeah. Weekends, early mornings in the summer.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
it's the early morning. The 5 a.m. club.
It does exist. There's a book, Miracle Morning, it's called.
Is it? I need to look at that.
Yeah, do. Yeah. I'll send you the link. Miracle Morning. It talks about those people that get stuff done and how successful they are because they get up. I just can't. I'm so sorry. I'll leave that to you guys. So what's the last questions? What's the best bit of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, that is a tricky one. I think, I mentioned it before, actually. Mm-hmm. It's probably like going towards your fear.
Love that.
I think, so before we did the MDS, we're all kind of reading different literature about, distance running and, having the right mindset to go out and do things. And there's a book called Born to Run, and it's basically about finding kind of inner strength. Yep. And actually, we only scratch the surface on our resilience, a lot of us. We think we're at the absolute, the pinnacle or as far as we can push ourselves, and we're probably, at 50%.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think that book's a great learn. So I think kind of go towards your fear and, be mindful that you've probably got more to give than you actually realise, and you've got more energy, more power, more resilience than you think. You've got to put yourself into challenging situations to actually to see that.
Yeah, exactly. I think a few people have said, it's good. It's okay to make mistakes. Because you will learn from them. They're lessons, not mistakes.
100%. Yeah, I made lots of mistakes along the way.
Absolutely. And look where you are. I could talk to you for hours, Toby. I don't think the podcast it will go on for that long, but what a fantastic journey and so much in there. And I'm sure our guests will want to reach out to you, especially around the educational stuff, because we don't have many on here that come directly from, they sort of work their way through. So this is great to hear people coming on talking about uni and education and, that side of stuff as well.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. So well done. Brilliant. I've really enjoyed talking to you. And like I said before the show, I'm learning an awful lot from the guests on the show. It's making me want to go and challenge myself more, which is fantastic. So I'm maybe not the desert run, but or the cycle to Paris.
Your toenails will never be the same again.
So maybe like a 5K, and that would be a good start.
That's a good start. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Toby, thank you.
Thank you.
So that's the end of today's episode of Wear Many Hats. And what a fantastic show it was today. So please do get in touch with Toby on LinkedIn. I'm sure he'll be happy to answer any questions for you. Please do like, share, forward on to friends and family that are looking to get into the FM or property world. And that's it for today. Until next time, thank you.